Diana Rossini tweeted this. Aaron Rodgers will be informing the Packers of his decision soon, per league sources. She said, I'm told there are multiple teams with offers on the table, but of course, nothing can happen until Green Bay allows a trade. So let's welcome in our Packers reporter, Rob Demovsky, for more. Rob, a lot has been said this week by Rodgers and GM Brian Gutekunst. Where does it all stand right now?
Laura, Diana is right, because we heard Rodgers say on the Pat McAfee show on Tuesday that he still has a few more things to contemplate, but they will have a decision shortly. And Brian Gutekunst told us yesterday that he expects that to come very soon. Now, even if Rodgers hasn't made his decision yet, you know that they've been talking contracts. The Packers aren't just sitting around waiting for Rodgers to make the decision and then say, oh, well, he wants to come back, we better draw up some numbers and put them in front of him. No, they're doing that right now. Where it gets complicated, though, is if Rodgers comes to them and says, you know what, I want to be traded. Well, remember last summer when it was widely believed that they had this handshake agreement where after the season, if Rodgers still wanted to be traded, that they would do it? I asked Gutekunst yesterday if that was the case, and he said that is not something I have told him. What he did say that they would do with Rodgers is that they would sit down as a group, these were his words, and work it out one way or another. Now, Gutekunst wouldn't get into the hypotheticals about what he would do if he wants to be traded, only saying that he wants Rodgers here, and that is an organizational decision from the front office to the personnel department to Coach Matt LaFleur and his staff that they believe Rodgers is the guy for them in 2022.
Yeah, that is what they've said this whole time, right? Rob, thanks for joining us. And as you said, contemplating can actually get complicated here as we talk about this Rodgers situation. Jeff, let's go to you. What can you add to where all this stands with Rodgers and the Packers?
To what Aaron Rodgers is saying, we can also talk to people behind the scenes who are talking to Rodgers, and it does all sort of lead to an optimistic tone that Rodgers could be back in Green Bay. First of all, Rodgers said it himself, the conversations with the Packers after the season, telling Pat McAfee that it has been really good, positive conversations, more so than it was last year. Then we saw the hiring of Tom Clements as the quarterback's coach, another thing that Rodgers wanted to see happen. Devontae Adams, eventually we expect that he would get tagged or extended in Green Bay. We'll see if that happens, and when it does, I would imagine that too would make Rodgers happy. So he has laid out some things that he'd like to see happen, and those things are happening. It would surprise me if after all of that, he decided that he would instead request a trade. So for now, unless this thing goes sideways, it does at least feel like it's trending toward Rodgers returning to Green Bay.
Well, Laura, to me it seems clear and evident that the Packers either want Rodgers back or they don't want to be the reason that he left. Brian Gutekunst said very simply he did not promise him a trade, and they've been going about the past couple of days creating cap space to possibly make him the highest paid player in the league and also make some corresponding moves that will help them not go into a rebuild. The bottom line is this: Aaron Rodgers has earned the right to be in control. He's earned the right to be a player, a GM, and whether you like him or not, Aaron is coming off of 2 back-to-back MVPs. So this is about legacy for the Packers and for Aaron Rodgers, and they don't want to mess it up by pressuring him to make a decision too soon or before he's ready, kind of like they did with Brett Favre. They want to make sure this either continues to go forward smoothly or that the breakup is a very nice one and everybody wins.
Man, if you're thinking about Brett Favre, I feel like they won. They got rid of Brett Favre. They had to deal with all that foolishness. And they had a dude named Aaron Rodgers sitting in the wings. They don't have that now. They have Jordan Love. And obviously, they aren't as excited or optimistic about Jordan Love's opportunity to be as good as an Aaron Rodgers or to take this team to where Aaron Rodgers can. But if you were me, if I was Brian Gutekunst, I'm exploring everything I possibly can to make the best decision. When you allowed Aaron Rodgers to sit at the table, when you allowed him to make decisions on the roster, when you told him that you will that you will look at the situation after the end of the next season, and now you're sitting here, you've handicapped yourself. You're now listening to a list of things that he is telling you to do in order for him to stay and play for you. You are now trying to deal with Davante Adams in the way that it pertains to Aaron Rodgers' happiness. That's the position that you put yourself in when you made that deal with the devil. And now you're waiting on Aaron Rodgers so you know what your next step is. You need to explore all trade options. You need to understand what your salary cap will be with or without Aaron Rodgers. And I get what Jeff is saying. This is trending toward Aaron Rodgers being on the team. And if you're the Green Bay Packers, that's the good thing. But what type of team are you going to field? Are you going to make sure Davante Adams is a part of that team? And how do you continue to build your team up in the places that have let you down in the playoffs the last 2 seasons? There's so much more that has to go on in Green Bay other than Aaron Rodgers. Problem is, it can't go on until Aaron Rodgers makes a decision.
Yeah, you know, if you have to choose devils in football, if we're talking about just like on the field, you're probably going to choose Aaron Rodgers. He's a pretty good devil to be tangling with here. And guys, one thing I want to point out too, you know, I thought it was interesting this week on the Pat McAfee show when Aaron Rodgers said himself, hey guys, I can still play, with the little sly smile. He wants to make sure everybody remembers back-to-back MVPs and that he's still playing at the highest level maybe that he's ever played.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.